Hi there, and welcome to One Body, One Life, proudly sponsored by Jemai's Fine Foods. I'm Vicki Nguyen, and I'm on a personal mission to live to 120, and I would absolutely love to take you on this journey with me. This fortnightly show is focused on longevity and understanding how we can all live longer and stronger through diet, exercise, lifestyle, nutrition, and so on. Each episode, we will uncover tips and tricks to living your healthiest and happiest life for as long as physically possible. I'll be chatting to the experts as well as people who have defied the odds and explore various treatments and modalities to help us all reach optimal wellness. So in today's episode, I want to introduce myself to you. My name is Vicki Nguyen and I'm 41 years of age. I have two teenage children, a 17-year-old son, Jemai, and a 13-year-old daughter, Jasmine. I'm married to Martin, a 45-year-old traditional Chinese medicine practitioner who runs a natural medicine business, the Lotus Healing Centre in Essendon, Melbourne, where I also taught yoga for 15 years. I am the director of Jemai's Fine Foods, which started off as a small family business back in 2002, which was the same year that my son Jemai was born. So we aptly named the business Jemai's Fine Foods, thinking that it was always just going to be a bit of a side hustle for us, but still going after 17 years now. So Jemai, the word Jemai actually means spreading the light. It's a Japanese name that means spreading the light, and it's still very fitting as that's the goal of our business, but it's also my personal mission. So to spread the light as far and wide as possible, to educate and inspire people to become conscious consumers and mindful about what they're eating, and to show them that there are many healthy alternatives is my grand vision. So for me, this vision of spreading the light actually goes way beyond food. It's about awakening consciousness in people holistically. So I've always been into health and well-being, and as a young girl I was inspired by my great aunt who lived to 108, and she was sharp and witty and physically able all the way to 108 years of age. So I only met her on a few occasions actually. We lived in different states. But seeing her aroused something in me, and that was my personal mission to live to 120. So that mission I've had for as long as I can remember, hence the reason why I'm starting this podcast, One Body, One Life. So a few years ago, I actually lost two best friends to cancer. One of them was 36 and she passed of bone marrow cancer, and the other one was 37 and she had stomach cancer. And the loss hit me really, really hard. So for me, that mission to live to longer and stronger to 120 was actually even more solidified. And about 2 years ago, I came up with a concept known as WeQ, which is kind of similar to EQ and IQ, except WeQ stands for Wellbeing Intelligence. And for me, it's about making smart choices. So when it comes to choosing foods or the way you sit or eat or thoughts that you think, conversations that you have, even the way you breathe. So WeQ is about having a holistic approach to your overall well-being and actually taking your health into your own hands. So like every time you do something or make a decision, you ask yourself, is this the best possible option currently available to me? That's what WeQ is. So to me, it actually comes quite easily and naturally. I guess I've always pretty much treated myself as if I was preventing disease. And I figure it makes perfect sense to eat and live now as if you've got some knowledge that there is an insidious disease growing inside you. I mean, why wait to have to make those changes? You're better off, in my opinion, living your healthiest life possible now. So this podcast is actually dedicated to uncovering the facts and the stories from experts and from people also who have defied the odds and outlived their life expectancies. So I've got some amazing interviews lined up where we will explore how they did it, along with understanding how to optimize our cellular health, and also cover topics such as endocrinology, exercise, diet, fasting, the benefits of fasting, nutrition, supplementation, herbs, stress, and how that impacts the body. And one of my faves, human growth hormone, which looking at ways how we can spike that naturally without using synthetics. So all of this is to help us age gracefully and ideally to live longer and stronger. So as a side note, I just want to let you know that actually to date, at 41, I've not done anything to my face or body that's unnatural. I've not had any injectables, and I refuse actually to go down that path of adding chemicals into my body. especially for the sake of vanity. It seems to me it's counterproductive for the mission that I'm on. Instead, I choose to eat mostly raw food. So I'm about 80% raw. I eat a lot of salads and I love beetroot. It's full of antioxidants, but it's one of my favorite vegetables. And I'm gluten and dairy free only because I can't digest gluten and dairy. And I also avoid refined sugar. I'm not a vegan. I do eat meat and fish and eggs, but probably about once a month. And I also am very conscious of the amount of water that I intake. I drink filtered water about 3 litres a day, and I need that because I run about 30 Ks a week as well. So essentially, I allow food to be my medicine. However, I was actually a bit of a supplement junkie for years and years. Being married to a Chinese doctor meant that I had access to so many supplements, and I took everything you can imagine. So I used to take about 12 pills a day. So everything you can imagine, from like calcium, CLA, fish oil, zinc, evening primrose, Tressos B, like multivitamin, you name it, I took it. And I would wash those 12 pills down with a concoction of like barley grass, MSM, zinc, liquid chlorophyll, turmeric, aloe vera. And it was this foul looking and tasting concoction, which I religiously took every day. And every time I got my husband to take it, he would actually gag. It was that potent. But now I actually choose options which are derived from herbs and whole foods instead. And I don't take, or I avoid taking, things that are synthesized. As I said before, I also exercise daily. So running is my favorite physical activity. I taught yoga for 15 years, but actually for my body type, I'm an O blood type, running really suits my body. So I find that I do that about 30 Ks a week, and I also do circuit classes and some weight training as well. And it's one of my non-negotiables in my daily life is my physical activity. The endorphin release is something that I'm addicted to. So another non-negotiable in my life is I actually started doing juice fasting about 3 or 4 years ago now. When my girlfriends passed away, I made a pact that I would regularly fast. And so I do that I do it once a month, about 3 to 5 days, and I do a juice fast. And the other non-negotiable I have is that I actually tell people if I see that they're not living their best, healthiest life and they don't look great, I feel it's my duty to inspire them and encourage people to become the very best, healthiest versions of themselves. So if I see you looking a bit grey in the face or not quite right, I will tell you. So in my humble opinion, the key to longevity is reducing the amount of toxic stress on the mind and body. That is just what I've observed over the years. I feel like stress is one of the biggest causes, and I think that's been proven as well. But I guess that's exactly why I'm here, to see if my hypothesis is correct, hence the reason for this podcast. So also important for you to know as a listener that I know most people kind of know this already, but yoga really taught me this, that whole mind-body connection. Mind and body are one, and they each affect the other. So one of the things that I loved learning about was that whole mind-body response. So for example, when you're feeling stressed, it's not just a mental thing, it's like a physiological reaction as well. Your body begins to perspire, your heart races, your breath becomes shallow. That's like that whole mind-body connection, and we've all experienced that before. And same with like when you're feeling nervous, you get that feeling in your stomach, like the butterflies, and that's because of the vagus nerve, which runs down from the brain into the stomach. So essentially what goes into your mind actually does impact your body, and vice versa. What goes into your body affects your mind. So that is why WeQ, Wellbeing Intelligence, is such a great concept, and I want more people to take their health into their own hands. So I really do look forward to uncovering more ways, tips and tricks to help us all live longer and stronger, and I hope that you can be on this journey with me. And I really look forward to, if you can, subscribe to my podcast, and look forward to unraveling the secrets of longevity together. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and follow me on our YouTube channel, One Body, One Life, to see more inspirational videos to help you reach optimal wellness and longevity. But until next time, don't forget, you've got to nourish to flourish.